Yes, welcome to ROWZFC, brought to you today by the triumphant Club World Cup. Long may it rain, and may all other competitions fall by the wayside and be cast into the dustbin of history. Myself, Ed Cavalier, and joining us live from Riyadh is James Dodd. Welcome.
Hello, gentlemen. Good to be here. Hopefully none of us will be the Donald Trump character in today's podcasting experience.
Leader of the free world, wouldn't mind. And a man who's always got his finger on the button, as it were, is Stan Sports chief negotiator and host of their already award-winning Premier League coverage. All praise be to Adam Peacock.
Maybe. Yes, thank you, Ed. Cheers.
Just a quick update, Stan, Premier League, when do you start? Have you got the jackets? What are we doing?
Check your LinkedIn. There's about 10 jobs going there.
Is there?
Yeah.
What is it? What have we got?
Well,
give us, if people are actually listening to this, they must like football and might work in it. What are some of those said jobs?
Let me see. Hang on.
Chief morale officer. Bit of comedy.
Yeah. Happily, one of them wasn't host.
Looking for an Adam Peacock type to host.
I can't find, but there's a lot of like digital producing and things like that, social media.
Fantastic.
Basically, all broadcast jobs in the
We're leveling up. We're leveling up.
Yeah.
Good jobs for sports people. Can I just point something out? I don't think I've seen you with a bit of salt and pepper on your chin for quite some time. Is that a new addition, Adam
Me?
Peacock? Yeah.
Don't you watch the show?
He's off.
No. This is more beard than usual for Peacock, though, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say it's slightly. I think the shirt is making it look more so. I think it's sort of accentuating it. But for those who aren't watching this on YouTube, Adam's got sort of like a Jack Sparrow look today with an insane goatee and one dreadlock and a series of scarves.
Yes. All I was doing is whippersnippering because I finally got it working again. That's
Good for you.
That's not a metaphor. I literally had a whippersnipper.
I get it. Petrol, electric.
Petrol. Yeah. Got the premix from the guy up at Terry Hill's mowers. It was great. He got me onto something, and I feel very handy right now.
You have a green thumb, don't you? I remember you're a proud owner of a back garden that you take a lot of pride in.
Which has actually ruined my football viewing experience because now I get really pissed off when there's a crap pitch. I get really annoyed. And I'm convinced Allianz Stadium tonight's, as we record this, hosting Wrexham tonight against Sydney FC, that their pitch is due to inferior soil. So I'll have a closer look tonight at the soil profile.
Is that because of the different sports it has to accommodate?
No, I would say that when they renovated the joint, they didn't think too greatly about what they were doing with the soil. And I don't know, I'm just guessing, but they basically imploded the place, the old stadium. Everything went up in the air and a lot of dust and a lot of crap from the old stadium went into the middle of the pitch while they were renovating the whole grandstands and everything like that. All of that would be still down there affecting the root systems.
God, this is good stuff. Well, that's like the world's most radioactive mound in Chernobyl it'll be radioactive till the year 3000 and something. Have you seen that?
Yeah, no.
Yep.
Yeah, it's quite. No, it's incredible. It's not to be touched, but well worth a look if you're in the area.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting. So I know, if we're talking on the turf theme very quickly, I know somebody that works very closely in that industry and has a lot of understanding of what went on with that stadium. Apparently, that pitch costs $1 million, and it was this thing called lay and play, which means within like an hour or something, it's supposed to be ready to be able to to play any sport on. How many times have they changed that turf? It's ridiculous. And now they're saying that it's going to be moved because of drainage issues or something like that after all the money spent on that stadium. Good stadium, don't get me wrong, but clearly not.
Yes. As a child, I worked at rock concerts and in Sydney, and I sold ice creams and drinks, as well as at the rugby league. And so then I saw all of those concerts in the 90s there, your Michael Jacksons, your Madonnas, your U2s, or your Rolling Stones, all of those. And if you every now and again on TV, because, in my other life, I love rugby league, there'll be a game, Adam, where you can tell it was around that time in sort of 93, 94, 95, because there's just horrible square sort of marks around where the stages went. It's good footage.
Still happens.
Yes.
Still
Check out
happens
Amy Park in February.
So we've all selected some topics. We don't know what each other's topics are for this week. And who would like to go first?
James.
I'll go. And I hope that this isn't an Ed Cavalier topic, because I think it might be something that is in your wheelhouse today, sir. Have we heard about Lamine Yamal's birthday party?
Oh, glad you brought this up. I saw a headline, didn't read it, so please fill me in.
If I'm Hansi Flick, I'm worried. I'm very worried.
Okay, so I preface this by this saying this is from the Daily Mail, so pinch of salt, etc., etc.
Don't do
Spain's...
that. Don't be that guy. The New York Times sucks really hard. So don't be that
Here
guy.
we go.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
Yep.
Spain's government demand investigation into Barcelona wonder boy Lamine Yamal's 18th birthday party after dwarves were exploited and women with specific breast dimensions were paid to attend. Now, before we go into the specifics of this story, Marca are reporting that the government department that deals with equality and diversity and things like that are looking to maybe hand out a fine of up to £867,000 to Lamine Yamal because of the way in which this is. I think it's the General Director of Disability in the government, Jesus Martin, who I can guarantee is a Real Madrid fan, by the way, that if they're going after this for an £867,000 fine for Lamine Yamal.
2 weeks' wages. Yeah.
So, to bring on this, have you ever seen, both of you, ever seen Extras?
Yeah.
Right. So
you know
there's the bit where Stephen
but it's
Merchant.
too late. I've seen everything.
Yeah,
Unbelievable stuff.
But the scene where Barry from EastEnders and Stephen Merchant
So good.
are reading the report of Gervais's apparent actions in the restaurant the night before, and it says here he was seen glugging red wine, etc., etc. Right. So it says here, we are concerned that people with money, people with power, believe themselves to be unpunished. The law is for everyone, for the humble and for the powerful, right? So then it goes on the article to say, actually, the specifics around what exactly was asked of those with dwarfism in attendance remains murky. But the group representing those with disabilities roundly condemned Yamal, so they don't even know what has happened at this birthday party.
How is there no footage? Everything has footage attached to everything. How have they kept this under wraps? And there must be text messages of...
Or...
Someone must have texted someone saying, here are the dimensions of breast and here are the dimensions of little people that we're looking for.
Yeah, specifics redacted. Or it was one of those situations where it's phones in the lockbox, no evidence of said parties, like an old school party vibe. So there's a model that said that she was asked to go to the party. They wanted 12 blonde women with specific breast dimensions to attend. Again, no specifics. But how are we in this scenario now where a kid that's potentially, Adam, maybe going to win the Ballon d'Or this year, is now can't get... So he was criticised for going on a holiday with a woman recently who is, I think, pushing 30, right? As if that's some major crime. Perhaps he likes older women. Good on him. And now we're in a position where Lamine Yamal, his football ability is being torn down by the fact that he held a birthday party where there were people with dwarfism at his birthday party and people with, I'm guessing, large breasts.
Hang on, but do we
but
know...
we don't know why.
Yeah, and
this is now a massive story, and the kid could be facing up to €1 million in fines.
So I predicted this.
How
did I not predict this? Adam, did I predict this? What did I say? What did I say recently about Lamine Yamal? What did I say?
Well, something new is going to come into his life, and that's the avenue of love that he's going to walk down many times, perhaps by the sounds of it, multiple times during the day.
When he dyed his hair blonde, and I said, that's it. He's done. As soon as the blonde hair, when I saw the bleached blonde hair, I knew it was a slippery slope. It's a very...
You know, James, the Spanish media and the Spanish football scene really well. Does this stink of... Okay, Lamine Yamal's a really good football player. He plays for Barcelona. So those on the Real Madrid side of the equation are going to go down the path of sensationalism and tabloidism to undo this kid and unravel his career.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, it also stinks of 4 national sports newspapers that are published every single day of the week needing things to write about in their newspapers, be it a Barcelona lens from Mundo Deportivo or Sport, or AS and Marca from a Real Madrid supporting lens. But listen, this is just one of those things now that we've had the Club World Cup, and I thought it couldn't get even more ridiculous when Donald Trump was basically, Gianni Infantino was saying, come on, get off the stage. You've got to let them lift the trophy. No, I'm staying right here, guys. Go away, Gianni. To now we're having a footballer one of the best footballers in the world being criticised for having these people at a birthday party, but nobody knows what they did or why they're at the birthday party.
They've followed people leaving the next day, the party, and no one's speaking. So that's clever. So we don't know. We also can't speak on people's behalf. Like, if people have seen what the gig is, read it, and gone, okay, I'll do that, then... You know what I mean? Can you be offended on other people's behalf? We need the folks who were there and we took place in it. It's their story to tell, isn't it? Not Marca's to sort of assume.
But this reminded me of there was a big furore over I think it was the England rugby team, where they were doing essentially, I think it was dwarf throwing is what they got massively criticised for. I feel like it was in New Zealand or something.
does feel
Fits
like
the
it might
the
not
rah
be
rah.
on. It might not be on. I think it might. That
The
feels
Ruggers
like it's
boys,
not.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
that
bit
does
loose.
feel as though it's probably not the done thing. I've just looked up one of the models who said she was approached, but she said she didn't go but she doesn't say why not. But yeah, I think my son's having an 8th birthday later in the year. I've texted her and just said, look, these dimensions are okay with me, so come on over.
But yeah, that was one that caught my eye today because I just thought in a recent era when we've had like a Club World Cup that's captured people's attentions, whether you liked it or not, or you grew to love it, and then we have this, and it's like football just has this knack, it has this itch that it cannot scratch where it goes really, really good, really, really good. Right, who can we tear down today? I know this young kid of North African descent who happens to be one of the best footballers in the world at the moment, is earning an obscene amount of money. He's just turned 18.
He's had a gangster theme though. Like that's just lame. The gangster theme.
Yeah, it's
party.
lame.
Come on, mate.
Can you see it in
is
2
lame.
years' time that Lamine doesn't quite live up to the hype? For instance, say he doesn't, injuries kick in and things like that, and
This is the moment.
he's got the tag Playboy next to his name.
Yeah,
Like,
party boy. Yeah, right. Yes.
Spanish
Yeah.
Playboy, Lamine Yamal.
Yeah, what
makes
came
stirring
first for
comeback
Neymar?
from
Was it
injury,
the reputation that he partied or the parties? That's always the question, isn't it?
yeah. Well, Ronaldo's the main one, the real Ronaldo. He's
Oh, yes.
the standard.
Legendary.
Like he's the, I read something last week where he was quoted as, I used to play on the Saturday and by Saturday night before midnight I was in a Paris nightclub and I'd spend the next 2 days there just having a great time. So seems like a
great.
pretty good life to me.
Not
Yeah,
bad.
but listen, if you're a professional footballer, I mean, it's kind of with the territory, isn't it? I remember being in Paris for the Euros in 2016, and we were in a nightclub at the top, right near the Champs-Élysées, the Arc de Triomphe, and it was called L'Arc, I think, or L'Arc.
Probably Lark, not Lark.
L'Arc. Yeah, but how they would pronounce it, L'Arc, right? And all of a sudden, the music changed from whichever shithouse track was playing at the time to the Champions League theme came on. A load of models with sparklers and bottles of champagne walked through the middle, and they were delivering champagne bottles and magnums to a table that had Rio Ferdinand on. And there was a big part of me that thinks he requested the Champions League music to be played.
Wow.
I think you might be. That looks to be still open. 112 reviews, going with 3.3 out of 5. It's saying it's got 100 euros plus. Yeah, from what I can tell, it's the type of place where white jeans wouldn't be out of place. So that tells you everything you need to know.
Why not?
Why not, indeed. Well, there you go. Mr. Peacock.
Discussing this with James earlier in the week, and I've decided to bring it to the table for a discussion point, so tonight Sydney play Wrexham, and the Sydney squad is a handful of senior players and a stack of academy kids. And I've just noticed a couple of things, posts and reaction to posts about Sydney, and it came last week when they signed a young striker, upgraded him from the academy to a pro deal, Matthias McAllister. Caveat, he's from my area. I know the kid, I know the family, great kid. Fantastic that he's got this professional contract
Good on him.
situation. He's 18 years of age. He's been ripping it up in the NPL, which is the second tier, obviously.
Great.
He's now got the pro contract. The amount of derisory comments underneath that announcement saying, right, here we go, we're going to play an NPL team this year, blah, 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 from Sydney FC fans, venting. And this is not a one-off. I see it all the time with Australian football fans. I just went on, in the lead-up to this, I actually did some research, had a look at Benfica's squad, Sporting Lisbon's squad, and had a look through, and they've all got 6 or 7 18 to 21-year-olds, transfer market value somewhere between 1 million and anywhere up to 25 million euro. And I'm thinking to myself, why do we have a massive problem in this country of giving kids an upgrade from an academy system where they're playing second-tier football in Australia, which is bloody good, actually. It's a good ground. They're playing men's football 30 games a year, and then everyone starts blowing up about the fact, are people that thick that they can't work out, given what has happened to the economy, the football economy in Australia in the last 5 years? And obviously, caveat, James works at the APL, so I'm not his problem, not his remit, but clubs are struggling financially, that they can't work out that joining the world football economy couldn't be a benefit, and playing young players is actually the way out. It's just, it blows my mind. Blows my mind.
Do you think they're Sydney fans, these people who don't like it? Or what?
No, they're Sydney fans, but I've seen it at all clubs. Like Adelaide fans have got their head around it. Central Coast fans have no option.
Yeah, I was going to say, certainly. Central Coast must be excited about it, surely.
Brisbane fans can't get past the fact that Ange is no longer their manager, which is fair enough because it was such a magnificent era and the club's treated itself horribly since. But there's only a handful of clubs that have got the hang of this. And You look at the fact that last year, or that they were trumpeting the fact that there was $16 million worth of players sold out of the A-League.
Yeah.
Not last season, the year before.
Second most successful prior to, I think, the year before that.
Fantastic, but if Australian football is not aiming for that figure to be 100 million within 5 years, they're kidding themselves.
That's interesting.
Because that would solve
You're right.
a fair few problems. It would mean there's less of a reliance on a TV deal.
Oh, yeah,
I know
yeah,
it would mean that younger kids are going to have to get a go, but it's a whole big cycle, and there are many cogs to the wheel that need to be improved along the way, notwithstanding the academy system and the coaching and everything like that. But it's just mind-blowing that people are stuck in this cycle that we need a good team to contend. We need a good team to contend, whereas the financial viability of the whole system is underpinned by playing young players.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense. I mean, there are much larger leagues around the world that have, Portugal and France had that come to Jesus moment a long time ago, and they've benefited from that. That's that is the way. That is the way of those places.
I find it really quite frustrating at times because I understand, not just from like a league perspective, but there are always going to be players that come through that maybe go too early, or you know they're not going to be around for very long, so it's kind of how can you cash in and make the most of it whilst they're here, right? And I do understand fans' frustration sometimes where they're like, but it's like every season, how much change is there going to be again? Like, look at the Mariners. When the Mariners won the treble, season before last, and then they lose basically half their team. Same like happened with under Nick Montgomery, and then Mark Jackson came in. So I get that, but I find it frustrating that you've got those fans that are so quick to write someone off, but as soon as the kid does well, which, hey, listen, we're recording this on the Tuesday, Matthias McAllister will probably play against Wrexham. He'll probably play some minutes. If he comes on and scores, those same fans will then probably turn their attention, I don't know, to Patrick Wood and go, why have we got him playing? Why can't we play this kid? It's like, I feel like we're stuck in that era at the moment where it's everybody wants everything now.
Yeah.
But if they're a foreign player who comes in they don't know anything about, argument being the guy that Wellington Phoenix signed today, his surname's Eze, I can't pronounce his first name. Jirin guy, they brought him in from the Iraqi league, right? Scored 15 goals last year. But I bet there'll be so many people going, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do, because he's come from overseas and is a foreign player.
Mix of both. A healthy mix of young Australian who knows where they'll go, and that's an interesting signing because that's a both value. They're both value propositions in different ways.
But Adam, you operate in that era with Manly, right? Case in point, McAllister, he scored 5 goals against Manly United this season, did he not, for Sydney's NPL team? Yeah. So, and then he scored a second half hat trick against Hakoah after coming off the bench. I know it was a pre-season friendly, and Sydney had a mixed team out in both halves. But if you score in a second half hat trick,
the kid can finish. He can absolutely finish. I don't understand why they're not looking at that. Why are they not looking at that and going, do you know what, that's something to be really excited about, rather than going, we can't spend the money on another Douglas Costa, for example. I guarantee you, now, if he was, and that's why I use the Portuguese example. I guarantee you, if he scored 10 goals in the space of 2 months for Benfica's second team or Sporting Lisbon's second team, they would be finding every way possible to integrate him into the first team because they can see the value and maximising the value. Here, we can see the value in playing him because we might win something. Guys, you blew the budget last year by getting all these foreign players in, which blocked the path of a lot of Sydney's good young attacking players, and they finished 7th. Like, why wouldn't you just play kids and finish 7th? Like, I don't get it. And they've got a good crop at the moment, Sydney FC. It's not always going to be the case. Yeah. Those things are cyclical. They've got a good crop of 18 to 20-year-olds right now. But if they let them sit in the shelf until they're 21...
You're right.
It's done.
Yeah.
Their values,
prime example. Ed, you would have seen this firsthand. Club World Cup, the lad who scored all the goals up front for Real Madrid.
Yeah,
nobody had even heard of him in terms of from a global aspect.
But they'd be keeping him. That was one of those ones where they were like, "Don't show anyone, don't show anyone." There was a 16-year-old kid from Mexico in the Gold Cup that the coach had found at one of the smaller coastal teams, and now it's a clamour to get hold of him. Surely, also the thought with Sydney is there's more than just Sydney FC fans that are going to watch this Wrexham game. What if Wrexham like him? What if another championship team? What if a League One coach is watching? I don't know. Surely it's a really good early shop window to go and look, he did this against Wrexham. I think that's really smart to play him. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because if they like him, remember that there's the classic story, isn't it? When they play, where are they? They go over to play a friendly Ferguson, and he's saying to John O'Shea, 17-year-old Ronaldo, get near him. And O'Shea's saying, I can't. And it's that makes it goes, Gaffer, I can't. And that's when he goes, that's when Ferguson goes, right, got to have him. Sorry. Pulls the sporting guy aside and go, we have to have him, and we have to have him today. This is a great idea from Sydney. I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he goes now.
It's a 3-year contract for McAllister.
Perfect.
That has to be the way forward, right? It has to be,
100%.
I think, for these kids, minimum 3-year deals. Adelaide, I think it's Panagiotis Kikianis. They gave him a 5-year deal.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
Who's
another
the
player
West
that
United
skips
kid
my
that
mind.
just they lost for free, which is making me sad every day.
No, Botic.
Yeah.
God. Who's a great player and a lovely kid, but
So they would have got training compensation, which would have
True.
equated to about €360,000, or maybe a bit less because he went to the Austrian Bundesliga, which is not maybe viewed as a UEFA Tier 1 league.
all right. Well,
But
it's not nothing, but it's not.
It's not nothing, but
when he had
it's to
when he was
James's
16,
point, if,
yeah.
if he had 3 years left on a 5-year deal,
Yep.
Yeah.
you're getting a transfer fee of $2 million.
Show me the money.
Yep.
Minimum.
Yeah.
And then
And
that gets reported. And people, ooh, you know.
Yeah.
But
and necessarily-
reputationally, it needs to build and build and build. It won't automatically go bang, there you go.
Yep.
But over a 10-year cycle, if we start
I agree with you.
blooding
This
these
is so
players
true.
earlier in the A-League,
Yeah.
it's
So true.
anyway. That's my rant for today. It's a little
Performance-based
bit
performance-based
different
incentives, long-term contract. Nestor and Kunda, look at that. So he's moving to Watford for about, I think it's £2.5 million, or roughly as a base
How
fee.
much?
Adelaide have got he's on a 4-year deal. Buying and selling him to Watford for I
they're
think
selling him
€4
to
million
Watford? I didn't know
or something
that.
like that. Yeah, it happened overnight. But Adelaide, listen,
Really?
I'm not going to disclose what I know that figure to be, but I know there is a clause that Adelaide have there.
They will sell off.
So
yeah.
They got to sell
Yeah,
on
so-
Adelaide.
so- but-
they've
yeah, so
got,
that's-
they're getting
that's
a
smart.
taste. That's great.
they're getting
That's
to
a
say,
great
and
story.
like to Adam's point, that's what clubs have to do. That's
Adelaide
how they
will
have
get-
to be smart.
Adelaide will get a percentage as well. As part of that transfer fee, there's 5% that goes into a FIFA Transfer Solidarity Fund. The club, selling club, say it's a normal deal, they'll only get 95%. 5% of that transfer fee is quarantined. This happens for every transfer in the world. And then the development clubs of said player gets a cut of that. So I do want to do some investigation into this. I would love to know if Romelu Lukaku's junior club know about this clause, because they have got the best facilities of a junior club in Belgium. Surely,
Can you imagine? They're the-
$100
they're the only,
million every year.
I know. You're the only Belgian amateur club with an aircraft carrier. Had to do something with it. We got $900 million. We had to buy something.
Do you want some money?
Yeah. Hey, how you going? And also well played to Eric Kunda for going on loan to Switzerland. Switzerland? Grasshoppers.
Grasshoppers.
Doing a
Grasshoppers.
great job and getting himself a second move.
Yep.
Good on him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well played.
And
well played, that man.
as we were saying, the details of that move is that Bayern Bowl accounts have got a
Buyback?
50% sell on
Oh, nice.
and a buyback option. So they're not giving up on him by any stretch of the imagination. They want him to probably go out and show why they saw something in him.
Great. That is good news. Well, there's a happy ending to that story. Right, I've got two quick ones. Right, first things first. It's finally happened. It's finally happened. So, my friends, because you two are plastic fans, which make me sick because you don't happen to live within a 10k radius of a team that has benefited massively from the global expansion of the game. So I call you two are plastic fans, and that makes me
Plastics.
sick. I'm a type of guy who only likes people who somehow were born right next to a team, and that's the team they follow. And it doesn't matter where you live, or if you buy a jersey, or if you go to the games, or travel halfway around the world. You two are plastic fans, and that makes me sick. But how about this? Did you see this? Italy's FA approves Serie A request for AC Milan to play Como in Australia. This is it,
Yes.
friends. This is it. They are going to play a game, 4 points, in a major European league outside Europe, and it looks like it's going to be Australia. And it looks, I mean, I hate AC Milan, and I'll be there, protesting, but it does. This is not getting enough play. This is massive.
No, didn't know about it.
Did you see this? Because they're using the 2026 Winter Olympics as the reason. The home game versus Como in Perth has been approved. This is so big.
So there's obviously a link there, and I can't claim to have done any research into this at all, but I know AC Milan are coming out here. They're playing Perth Glory, aren't they, fairly soon? They've been out here before.
They came out in the
numerous
90s. They've been,
times.
Adam, you know that. They came out in the 90s. The really good team came out here in the 90s. The
32-minute second half at Princess Park.
like that.
Where they had to get to the airport.
They had a plane to catch. But my friend, who I went to the game with in Germany, he was, we were teenagers at the time, and he worked out that they were coming, and so he went. Michael Luciano went to the dinner in Sydney at the Leichhardt. I think it was anyway. And
La Montage.
probably delicious. And met the team and saw Aldo Serena, who used to be Inter Milan's main goal scorer. And from memory, he snuck in an Inter jersey for Aldo to sign at the AC Milan event.
Wow.
That is my memory of it. And I was like, yeah, even then he was insane. Anyway, but that is huge. That is a massive, massive development. That's not. This is. I can't know why it's. That's. This is it now. This is the next phase of these European leagues that
Is
have
it locked
lost.
in, or are they throwing it out there to heighten the interest of the Middle East to say, "Oh no"?
Perth
we'll
have
just
said
plunge
us,
in.
please, and they've applied to Serie A, and Serie A at the moment, because of the Winter Olympics, seems to have said, okay.
Okay.
I have 2 points on it. One of which you know what I'm going to say. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it personally, because overseas fans around the world can watch every single game. Right, they can watch people in, let's say, in Milan. I don't know their broadcast rights issues in Italy, for example, but in England, I know that if I'm an Arsenal fan, I can't watch every single Arsenal game on TV.
There's only one you can't.
I either
watch.
have
The 3 p.m. Saturday thing.
yeah, which is quite a lot, big chunk.
Yeah, it's not a big chunk. It'd be 4 or 5. It's 4 a year. It's 4 a year, if that.
But also, no, but then I'd have to, like, for example, I'd have to have 2 different subscriptions at home, which is expensive, right? And
Yeah, I'm not arguing the economics. The economics
Yeah.
are a rip-off, and they have been for some time, except for when Stan Sport takes over, and the value is just, it's putrid. It's putrid how good the value is.
But also, why? And I just hope, and I know that they probably won't. I'd love to know the amount of money that Perth are potentially throwing behind this, and they should be matching that contribution that they're giving to local football. Because if they're not, and they're just bringing it in for the sugar hit,
Yeah, okay.
To get
fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
AC here and those there, then
Yeah,
that's
when
not
you've got
fair.
a-
That doesn't.
Yeah, fair.
And it's
Yeah.
not altogether the government's fault, but the Perth Glory, as far as I can tell, unless something dramatic has happened in the last 6 months, they still don't have their own centralised training base.
Yeah, okay, that's
for
fair enough.
themselves
All right, well
and
then
their academy.
carve off some of the money to give to that.
Yeah.
His cause is a very, very good idea, and that raises all the boats.
Will not happen.
But also, do you prefer that? You know, the awful Victorian government for years was a concert promoter. Like, why were we paying for so Perth? The Western Australian government's a concert promoter. They were paying Coldplay to come and play there. Why? I don't want that. This is, like, if they're going to do that, they may as well do this.
Yeah, who pays Coldplay anyway?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. My final thing today is Coldplay based. The World Club has finished,
There you go.
and
Half time.
the final, it was God. I know I'm harping, but when we were at the Champions League final, my friend Michael and I watching Inter get hammered by PSG. He and I turned to each other halfway through the first half, and we said, "What are they doing? Hit it over the top. Hit it over the fullbacks. They live on the halfway line. Someone go out. Thuram's the fastest guy on the hoop. Go wide and knock it over their heads." What did we find out yesterday, James? Robert Sanchez, the Chelsea goalkeeper, who used to... And what did he say, Adam? In the season, Maresca said he would drop him if he knocked it long from a goal kick. Said he'd just drop him. I put the number 2 goalkeeper in. And then...
We had 5 to choose from.
Yeah, you had
very
5.
true.
Yeah.
Oh, wasn't that a lovely image? All 4 Chelsea goalies in kit hugging. Wasn't
In
that
full
the
kit.
That was...
John Terry got a little tear coming from his eye. They
That
lined
was
up with their shin pads on.
God, that was the best. I'm going to see if I can find it. What did he do? What was Sanchez doing it? His number
Like a
one
long
pass.
sun.
Straight over Mendez's head. Straight
I don't
over
know,
his
Ed,
head.
because I got through the whole tournament without watching a game live.
Yeah. You and, half the BBC. Well done. So, but they did podcasts about it. But so they...
Just helping you out.
Yeah, right. Like we are now. So never let the hypocrisy get in the way of fun. But so that but
That's a T-shirt in itself.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've never been afraid of hypocrisy. You're a hypocrite. Yes, I know. So anyway, I can't find that. Anyway, it's good fun. James will put it in here if you're watching. All the Chelsea goalkeepers, all 4 of them. It's wonderful. It's wonderful footage. What I want to talk about is the entertainment. Everyone always says that America does entertainment the best. No, they don't. They most certainly do not, because they served up. Some of it was a Coldplay guy was announced as the curator of the halftime show, wasn't he, Adam? Remember Chris Martin?
Chris Martin, you're telling the story. All I know is it
The
went
curator. I
24
thought you were
minutes.
saying charge of the pitch.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Shit soil.
he was the artistic director of the halftime show and the
Artistic
pre-game show.
director.
Yeah, and he looked at the lineup and he said, "You know what's missing? Coldplay." So he bunged
I
him.
was going to say, me?
Yeah, it's exactly what he thought. You know what? It's lacking
Again, it's
something.
like that episode of
guy.
the extras.
Yeah,
Where he
this
comes
guy.
in with the T-shirt.
This guy. So they went up there, and there was Australian connection. He did a great job, so well done him. But there was all sorts happening. My goodness, there was a lot going on. And some of it, I guess I'm like, do I not know who this is? I guess I've aged out of this. I'm not sure if this is any good. Did you see though? Although, my God, have you heard Robbie Williams's official anthem for the Club World Cup?
No.
It is Not since.
I didn't even
Not
watch
since-
the Club World Cup. Why would I know? Like,
Okay. Not even.
Oh, no,
not
don't.
since the. No, musical's lowest point is when Red Foo lived here and we all had to pretend he was a genius and he released a song called New Thang. That's music's lowest point, right? We have plumbed a new depth, right?
the Mariana Trench of musical taste.
Well done, Adam. That's wonderful. I was going to say the Titan sub, but that was such a nicer reference. All right, here we go. He paid to go on there. All right, here we go. Set your phases to stun, because this is horrific. Here we go.
What on earth is going on?
What is this?
Despite the fury,
Sorry about that. Bible Belt stuff.
love is the law.
All right, so that's Desire.
I was just waiting for it to kick in. Where's the drop?
No, it takes pages. I'll get to it. Here it is. You'll regret saying that. You're going to regret saying that.
No.
Yeah, shush.
Jesus.
She's
What? So can I ask? This is one thing that I couldn't get my head around from an Australian perspective and from FIFA. Why are people still obsessed with Robbie Williams? That was the thing. It was like 20 years ago.
You ask a
Like
question.
the AFL Grand Final, Robbie Williams. Mate, come on.
Well, that was a make good because the Australian government had handed him allegedly in excess of $20 million in funding so that they would film his biopic, his cartoon monkey biopic, Better Man here. Now, I haven't seen it, and it did win a lot of awards and a lot of good people involved, but I think the rumour is that was a bit of a, okay, Robbie, that's fine if you'd like. And it's all within the guidelines. They're not doing anything illegal, but you're gonna need to belt it out before, there's sports bet ads. Come on, mate.
Sports bet.
I have my own version. This is called Together. Okay? You ready?
Yeah.
I have no music. Quite nervous. The World Club Cup has been so much fun in the USA to see which club is really number one. We've seen goals, we've seen drama, we've seen flicks and tricks, we've seen the president of FIFA sucking Donald Trump's dick. And I'm not sure how it ends. I don't have an ending.
Ego. I think the word is you're looking
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Ego.
Fluffing.
Yeah, that works.
Fluffing something.
That works. Well,
Okay. Out of 10,
Beautiful.
Ed, for the Club World Cup.
Oh,
Finished
I-
now. We can stop talking about it. Out of 10.
All right, it loses points but the things that they already knew that they pretended they didn't know. Remember, my big prediction is that the World Cup final is going to be inside in Las Vegas. That's my big prediction. Announcement today. Oh, we might have to go to enclosed stadiums. They were always going to do that. This was about getting those cities on board early to try and say, oh, hey, do you want a World Cup game? When they know they're not going to get one. Nothing's ever going to be at the Rose Bowl ever again. So it loses points for that. It loses points for the Argentinian teams really exposing themselves, but getting so much money. They had quite an unusual winner of the Apertura this year, didn't they? And then Boca Juniors, who were not good, are coming home with $60 million. So it's like, Tim Vickery was saying the tilt that Tim, the wonderful Tim Vickery, who's the expert, he was saying the tilt that's going to give in domestic South American competition is
absolutely.
a terrible byproduct, and that's a really good argument. Again,
That's what I was talking about last weekend with the
Yes,
distribution.
exactly. Yeah, exactly
That
right.
needs to be a
That's exactly
centralised
right.
fund.
That you're 100% with that. That is 100% correct. However, man, Chelsea won the Club World Cup with a guy that was on the beach when it started. This is good fun. They were bringing... this is a Rorschach test, this competition. It's everything you want it to be. If you hate it and you want to hate it, you've got 100 reasons to hate it. If you hate Trump, you can hate it because of Trump. If you hate Infantino, you can hate it because of Infantino. If you love Brazilian clubs, you can go, look, the Brazilians were here and that made it good. If you're the head of FIFA's marketing talking to Donald Trump, you could say, we sold 1 billion tickets. And he goes, wow, that's pretty cool. And she's like, yeah. And in their mind, you can see her going, holy shit, I think I got away with that. But if you're Cole Palmer is now the coolest person in the world because he says, what does he say to Reece James when Trump won't get off the stage? Is he going to stay? That's a very funny line. That's a really funny line from Cole Palmer, who's known for such a thing. It's a Rorschach test. This tournament can be anything you want it to be, but I really, really hope it does break the hegemony of the Champions League and the Premier League long term. I really genuinely hope that.
It's going to have the exact same effect as it. That a select few will benefit from it hugely, and it will cause a greater disparity between the haves and the have-nots.
Right. All right.
Sorry.
Let him have his fun. I did, on a final note from Donald Trump, he was given the most propaganda of propaganda interviews. I think it was with DAZN.
It was great.
And they're like, how amazing this has been. His line was, it's amazing. You could see the people queuing into the stadium when you flew over the ground.
Yeah, it was great. Bring on a helicopter.
You couldn't?
No, it was good. Don't be like that.
She's just going, yeah.
Yeah, that's the
definitely.
easiest. I hope to soon become a DAZN interviewer, and what I call the on-site interviewer. Where you really, whoa! It's like when you interview John Edward, the psychic medium, and you have to pretend he's nailing it. That is tough going.
Have you
I've had to do
interviewed
that.
him before?
Oh, a number of times, absolutely. Whoa, good work. Guys, we're going to need to edit this before we put it to air. All right, always pre-record your psychics. That's my tip. I'm sure he does a great job, and people are his fans, and good luck to him. Thank you all. We will catch you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.